In my last video, I played the Medjay Neferkahs in For Honor and said in the end that Bayek would body Neferkha. I believe Bayek will wash this nigga Medjay. And I still stand by that, by the way. But the more I thought about it, the more I was curious on who would actually win. Though we already know the answer to that, there are people who come across this video saying it's Neferkha and others saying it's Bayek. But I decided to do this video. Why? Well, because it's Medjay versus Medjay. And this topic was actually very interesting because since they are both Medjay, it literally begs someone to talk about this. So I thought, why not? Because they are strong and skilled in their own right. So we will be talking about their weaponry, skills, and abilities and level of versatility to see who would win. Stay tuned to the end, and if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. This is Bayek of Siwa versus Neferkha the Medjay. Let's get it.
What have I unleashed?
I would talk about the characters, but since this is my first versus matchup, I won't because I feel like people would instantly know what this is the moment they click on it. So let's get started. Now you got to understand, Bayek is very strong and skilled when it comes to combat. We've seen him take down enemies that are bigger than him and more very skilled. But that doesn't mean we should underestimate Neferkha and say he'll never beat Bayek, because it's actually debatable because they have their own fighting style and techniques. And that leads us to the first one, weaponry. As you know, Neferkha wields a double-bladed fan axe that splits apart into dual wield for separate things, groups and 1v1s. If you fight a group, keep the blades together. If you're fighting one-on-one, split the blades and just go to town or the ladder. I tried to do that, but every time I fought one-on-one, I'd be getting jumped, dying over and over and over again. With these weapons, it makes them very versatile. As stated that Medjay are versatile fighters. They've grown their own techniques over time since there was no throne in Neferkah's lore. This makes Neferkha a strong opponent, and his weapon is very unique because the moment you get caught lacking, all Neferkha has to do is split it in two and you're fucked. Although he's quite a tough fighter. Now Bayek on the other hand is tough because you see him use other weapons in the game. Like at the beginning of the game, you see Bayek wielding a regular sword and shield while fighting Rujek's bodyguard. And you see him with it again when he heads into Hepzibah's home. Then you see him with a sickle sword and shield later on at the battlefield with Caesar and Aya hunting for Pothinus and Septimius. Then you see him in the Sinai expansion taking dual blades such as the Blades of Thoth. And you can wield other weapons in the game such as a heavy blunt, heavy axe, spears, and staffs. Not to mention he has a bow. You see him be very skilled with the light bow and the hunter bow in the trailers and most of the time cinematic scenes. But also you have a warrior bow and a predator bow. And he also has sleep darts, poison darts, and fire bombs. Not to mention he also has the hidden blade. So he's a jack of all trades. So with the weapons, we know that Bayek's main weapon is a sickle sword and a regular sword, while Neferkha has a double-bladed fan axe that splits into dual wield. So for the weapons category, I will give that to Neferkha because of his weapon's design and function. I would give it to Bayek, but Neferkha's weapon is very unique to his own fighting style. That's what his weapon is made for. Now if we're bringing up who has a better arsenal, of course we'll give that to Bayek. But in terms of main weapon, I'll give that one to Neferkha because Bayek's primary was a regular sword for most of the game and sickle sword. It can be hard for Bayek to get around Neferkha's fan axe though. Not saying it's impossible, just a little tricky. Now we get to the skills, aka techniques, and up first Neferkha. So for starters, we have the first two techniques known as the Thousand Suns and Thousand Suns Alternate. Now these attacks chain as long as you're consistent. If you're not consistent with the attack, the technique Thousand Suns will fall off. You also have Nomad Rush, where you just run up and attack without guarding. Then there's the Throne Room Clutch, where you just grab your opponent and knee them in the face. Throne Room Tackle, where you use shoulder charge while you dual wield. Throne Guard, where you just dodge step to any side and do a swipe attack. Throne Usurper, where you just dodge forward and bring down the axe. Nomad Slash, where you just swipe with your axe without moving your guard in any direction. And Taunt Swirl, so he has multiple places to attack from at base form and dual wield. Other than that, that's Neferkha's whole moveset. Now, staying consistent with the chain attacks can be difficult because it can fall off easily. I'm still getting the hang of that. Yep. Of course. Moving on. Oh boy, bear with me because we have a lot of ground to cover. Bayek's moveset is more or less complex. Of course, we're putting aside assassination, bows, and tools. We're talking combat. Bayek has different movesets depending on weapon of choice. There's light attacks and there's heavy attacks. Also, let's not forget Adrenaline Rush. You got the light attack combo where you swing the sword and hit the enemy with the shield. With the heavy attack combo, you bring down the sword with a lot of force to break guards. Then you come back around with another swing, dealing heavy damage. There's also the Adrenaline Rush where you can rush your enemy with an unstoppable blow. And there's AC Origin's version of Vengeance. You can do that with other weapons, but the time to kill can be a little slow. Although with dual blades, you don't use a shield, just 2 blades. With Bayek, there's multiple movesets for different weapons. Some will say that the moveset is boring. Well, I say it's still good, so I don't know what you're talking about. Last but not least, abilities. Now listen, when it comes to abilities, Bayek takes that. All I see from Neferkha is his twin fan axe, while Bayek has his trusty Eagle Senu and can basically see what she sees and hear what she hears. That's how close their bond is. So yeah, Bayek outclasses Medjay in the ability department by a long shot. Not to mention his skill tree. Yeah, we're not going to forget that skill tree. Take a good look at that. Now that we got their weapon skills and abilities, can Neferkha be Bayek? As I did say, we shouldn't underestimate him because he's a force to be reckoned with. But still, can he beat Bayek? You already fucking know he does not beat Bayek. Still, he could put up a really good fight, but don't ever play with this nigga Bayek, seriously. He basically became the Kratos of his own story. If you piss this man off in any shape or form, he will proceed to whoop your ass in the worst way possible. Exhibit A.
And I will kill you all! Everyone who sniffed the air that day in Siwa! And here is your nobody! He killed my son!
I'm telling you, you just don't want to fuck with this man. And remember when I said level of versatility? Bayek also takes that. And I know Neferkha has dealt with the curse, but let's not forget Bayek lifted the Pharaoh's curse. He pulled up to 4 afterlives. 4! And ran the ones with 4 pharaohs. Dead at that. I don't care that it was caused by the relic. They did a ritual with it anyway, bringing about the curse. They both dealt with curses, but Bayek just dealt with a curse that was more dangerous than the Scarab Bracelet. And you could bring up that the Scarab Bracelet was dropping people like the Black Plague, but Neferkha defeated the one that wore it, Bullthorn. Bayek dealt with dead pharaohs, and they were a lot stronger than what Neferkha has faced. These pharaohs were out here murking people in random spots across thieves. If you get caught lacking by a pharaoh, my nigga, your ass is grass. We're not gonna bring up Anubis, Sobek, and Sekhmet, well, because they're animus glitches, and there was no dialogue from Bayek while encountering them. Bayek has dealt with a lot more challenging foes, and we're not bringing up Prime because I assume Prime is the original storyline Bayek. He's still not beating Bayek at his prime. Now, we know he got his ass handed to him in the past while his son was still alive, but he's grown from that. Not putting down Neferkha, but come on now, stop playing with him. Bayek is able to break through big-ass shields and is lighter than Neferkha, so he can dodge left and right with no difficulty. With Neferkha, good fucking luck, but still, because his twin blade can be dual wielded, it'll still be a little tricky, and I believe he can give Bayek a really good fight, because he has a more unique fighting style, but Bayek has an eagle and has more hunting capabilities, and because of that, I don't think Neferkha has an answer for it. His fighting style is built to be more aggressive, but Bayek can just shoot from afar, and it's a lot more agile, and he packs more in his arsenal for range and close combat. So, it's a slam. The winner of this matchup is Bayek of Siwa.
May the Hidden One walk beside you. The Lord of the Duat awaits.
I might have missed some things, but despite this being my very first matchup, it was pretty fun. I played Origins for about 36 hours and barely got any goddamn sleep. And kept messing up my words while doing this. I was going crazy. But other than that, Medjay vs. Medjay was actually a really fun matchup to do because since it's Medjay vs. Medjay, I actually wanted to talk about this. I thought the Outlanders was a little unnecessary at first, but I ended up changing my mind in the end because Medjay was fun to play. I liked Medjay. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this video, like and subscribe or just consider subscribing. And comment what you guys think down below. It'll probably be a war zone down there. So yeah, Sly-The-Fox, I love the games, and peace out.